Hello everybody, and welcome back to the course. Today we're going to be doing lesson 7 out of 15 on text structure. Today's lesson is fairly brief, so let's just get through it, right? So what do you need to know? First of all, a question that tests you on your knowledge of text structure will present you with a completed text or poem, and they're going to ask you to provide a general statement for how it's structured, okay? So of course you're going to need to be able to understand not the exact meaning of the text, but the way it is structured to deliver its meaning. And of course poems, they can be pretty confusing sometimes, so of course it would be good to be kind of experienced and well versed on this topic of understanding a poem and its type of figurative language to get a point across, because that will certainly help you with these types of questions. So let's try with the example, the only example that we have today. Which choice best describes the overall structure of the text? The following text is adapted from Aphra Behn's 1689 novel, The Lucky Mistake. Edlant and Ronaldo are neighbors who have been secretly exchanging letters through Charlotte, Edlant's sister. Remember, this preview is going to be very important so that you understand the context, so that you can better understand how the information is delivered, okay? So let's get into the prompt. Edlant gave this sister to Charlotte, who immediately ran into the balcony with it, where she still found Ronaldo in a melancholy posture, leaning his head on his hand. She showed him the letter, but was afraid to toss it to him, for fear it might fall to the ground. So he ran and fetched a long cane, which he cleft at one end, and held it while she put the letter into the cleft, and stayed not to hear what he said to it. But never was a man so transported with joy as he was at reading of this letter. It gives him new wounds, for to the generous nothing obliges love so much as love. Moving, isn't it? Okay, so let's look, before we even look at the answer choices here, which I'm not going to be interested in right now, let's just look at how it's structured, right? So we see a man here who is definitely very sad. He's so sad that he doesn't even want to go retrieve the letter. He just wants to go get a cane and, make the woman put the letter on the cane so that he can take it, because he doesn't even want to get up from his chair, right? He's so sad. She delivers him the letter, and he became very happy reading the letter, okay? So because we know from here that Edlant and Ronaldo are secretly exchanging letters through Charlotte, Edlant's sister, who's the woman here in question, that can kind of give us an idea as to what's going on here, right? So perhaps Ronaldo is sad because he hasn't gotten letters, right? So that when he gets his letter, he becomes very happy. See, this makes sense because upon getting the letter, he becomes happy. So he's sad for some reason. Perhaps he's separated from his secret love, right? And then he receives the letter and then becomes overjoyed, okay? So now that we understand kind of the idea of what's going on here, we can look at the questions. A, it describes the delivery of a letter and then portrays a character's happiness at reading that letter. This is basically exactly what this text is structured, okay? This is exactly what's going on here. So we're going to keep a close eye on this one, and let's look at some of the other ones. B, it establishes that a character is desperate to receive a letter and then explains why another character has not yet written that letter. Maybe the first part of this sentence would be correct, okay? Maybe he is desperate. We don't know for sure why he's so upset, okay? But then explains why another character has not yet written it. That's not true. There's nothing about that in the text, okay? So let's go straight to C. It presents a character's concerns about delivering a letter and then details the contents of that letter. It does not detail the contents of the letter at all. We don't even have to look or acknowledge this first part, which is also simply not true. But then details the contents. Nope. D, it reveals the inspiration behind a character's letter and then emphasizes the excitement that another character feels upon receiving that letter. So the second half of the sentence in this case actually tries to trick you, because this definitely does happen, right? Just like in A, basically the same tale. But the beginning is what's different. It reveals the inspiration behind a character's letter. There's no inspiration here. As soon as we enter this passage, of course there's a little bit of context here, but this is the text. This is just the context, right? So the text itself doesn't talk about the writing of the letter. It only talks about the delivery and then the reaction to the letter upon receiving it. So the inspiration is never mentioned in this text, so we know that that is going to be also incorrect, which makes A the correct answer here, because it describes the delivery and then portrays the happiness at reading the letter. Very straightforward. These questions are very, very straightforward. The only time you might have some trouble with these is when it's a poem, in which case you're going to have to read a little bit more closely and kind of understand the figurative language there. But there's so many different types of poems, You'll just have to be able to read it and understand, right? So let's just wrap up this lesson. Make sure you understand not exactly what's going on, but the way, the method that it's using to get the idea across. Of course, eliminate the distractors as we did previously. For example, if this part right here is wrong, the question is just wrong, okay? So that answer choice would be wrong. You can eliminate it. The structure of the text should be described explicitly, and make sure you understand why the distractors are wrong. And of course, check again. It's always good to check again. Summarize the points made in your answer choice and be sure that it's correct. So thank you for watching this lesson. My name is Joseph Misak, and please subscribe. It really helps me make more of these free videos to help you all on your SATs. With that, good luck in the future, and goodbye.